Mr. Garlinghouse?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. On the record in the matter of Body Inc. versus Mark Gibson and Amy Nichols Gibson, file number 23-03113 LT, appearance for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Nicholas Garlinghouse on behalf of plaintiff, Body Inc.
Good afternoon. Alyssa Ho with Legal Services of South Central Michigan on behalf of the defendants.
Okay, today was the date set for a hearing. It was scheduled at 1:30. It's 2:06. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we prepared a conditional dismissal. Just so I have the terms clear, we have current rent owing of $11,840 plus court costs of $183.76 for a total of $12,023.76 owing at this time. The defendants have agreed to pay a lump sum of $4,000 by March 15th of 2024, and she'll also make on-time payments of $1,200, which is the normal rent, on the 24th of each month, plus additional payments of $675 per month by the 15th of each month thereafter, beginning in April until the arrears are paid in full.
Okay, so that's accurate.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you have your clients come closer to the mic? Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Gibson, that statement by the plaintiff's attorney is accurate as to how you want to proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me have you raise your right hand. Your other right hand, ma'am.
Sorry.
Okay, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury? Okay, there should have been a tenant advice of rights. I don't know if there's any up there. You understand that you have the right to have a hearing or a trial in this matter?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you understand that you could have a jury trial and that you have the right to be represented by your attorney at that jury trial. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Is anybody threatening you to get you to give up that right today?
No, ma'am.
Anybody promising you anything if you give up your right to trial?
No, ma'am.
No.
Okay, so you want a conditional dismissal to enter whereby the case will be dismissed today upon the condition that you'll pay past due rent to retain $11,840 plus court cost of $183.76 for a total amount due $12,023.76, and that's rent due and owing through February 29, 2024, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that you further agree to pay $4,000 to the plaintiff by March 15, 2024,
Yes, ma'am.
and that you will make a one-time payment of rent. On time, it says you shall make on-time rent payments of $1,200 on the 24th of each month, plus an additional payment of $675 per month by the 15th of each month, beginning April 2024, until the arrears are paid in full. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You understand partial performance will not satisfy this agreement, so you have to perform completely under the terms of the agreement, and that even includes the amounts that you agreed to pay on the dates you agreed to pay them. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you don't, then they have the right to, without giving notice to you, request writ to issue against you, and judgment will enter against you immediately. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have 3 business days from today's date. If once you leave here, you realize you misunderstood any of the rights that you gave up in order to enter into the conditional dismissal, you can return to the court, request to have this set aside, and we'll set it for a hearing, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
We'll get you a copy of your conditional dismissal. Any additional matters, counsel?
Nothing for me, Your Honor. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. did you have, your matter ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
You were filling in for Whitty, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. On the record in the matter of Aspar LLC versus Richard Williams and Beverly Williams. And that's file number 23-02920 LT.
This court, Your Honor, Attorney Frank Narrett for the plaintiff landlord. And I'm filling in for the Whitty Law offices in this case today.
Okay, I don't see anybody present on behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Williams. Today was the date and time set for hearing. How do you want to proceed?
Your Honor, please court, I'd ask the court for entry of default judgment of possession and a default money judgment as of today's date.
Okay, judgment will enter for both as of today's date. You can have that document or those documents submitted through M-File. Either you or Mr. Whitty can get that done.
Understood.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Someone was here for, I did that. It's going to. Who's here for? Oh, never mind. On the record in the matter of Woodside Meadows Apartments versus Bernard Greer. File number 23-02145, council appearance.
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. Connor Authority P 84485. Hearing on behalf of the plaintiff and standing in for Mr. Piper today.
Okay. Sir, what's your name?
Bernard Greer, excuse me, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
No
Good
problem.
afternoon.
No, good afternoon. Today
Bernard Greer Jr.
was the date that was set for a hearing on a eviction for non-payment of rent. And I do believe you filed a counterclaim, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And at the last court date, we made sure that a copy of the counterclaim was provided to plaintiff's counsel.
Correct.
Did they respond?
Did file an answer, Your Honor, and I believe it's been filed with the court.
And then I also requested that plaintiff's counsel provide a move-in checklist for the tenant. Was that taken care of as well?
Your Honor, it is my understanding that Mr. Piper's office did reach out to the prior landlord, the previous manager, his name is Melinda, I don't have a last name, but they were unable to locate a move-in sheet for the property.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm presuming that you have not been able to come to resolution, correct?
No, Your Honor, we did attempt to, but we could not.
Okay, and so this was a matter that was scheduled for an eviction hearing. There was indications from you, Mr. Greer, that the property was pink tagged and that there's some issues or code habitability issues that you believe prevent you from having full usage of the property, and you're using that as the basis as to why you should be able to withhold your rent and maintain possession of the unit, correct?
Correct. Yes, but I did plan on moving, but the counterclaim was to like procure funds to be able to do that.
Okay,
Seeing how I can't really dwell in that unit no more.
what do you need to procure funds to do that?
Well, it's gonna help with me moving.
Meaning that the money that you would have used to pay the rent that you've set aside, you mean that as well? You're, okay. But what do you need to provide some evidence to support your claim that there were some property conditions that were not addressed? So you're
Yes,
prepared to
ma'am.
do that now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I will start with the doors. The doors are not sealed. You can like see through It's a safety issue for one thing. because
Which doors are we talking about?
Front and back. The back in particular, there's a big hole at the bottom of the door. And I did have pictures for that.
Okay, you have them?
They're on my-
Your Honor, I have not seen these pictures and they were not supplied to me, and I'm not sure if they were supplied to plaintiff's counsel, Mr. Piper. So I would just ask to see the photos as well.
Okay, I don't particularly like looking through people's phones for evidence. So
Got the,
you,
well,
you have evidence by way of photos, and I know I mentioned more than one time that you need to bring your evidence with you to court.
yes,
And I don't have to look through your cell phone to get evidence, and you gotta give them a copy of your evidence.
yes, I apologize, Your Majesty, because I did remember.
It's not your
I
majesty,
mean, Your
just
Honor.
Judge Simmons is
Your
fine.
Honor, I'm sorry, Justin.
Thank you.
The,
You're fine.
The checklist had everything else on it. That's why I didn't think to take everything off the phone because the checklist had everything on it. But see how that they can't even provide the checklist. Okay, that changed the dynamics. I did bring other emails that I was able to recover that was not submitted. I don't know how it didn't get on there, but I
Okay,
do
you
have
said
it
the
now.
doors were not sealed.
Doors was not sealed.
What does that mean? So this is the
Okay.
front door?
The front door, there's air. When it rains, it comes through. And during the summer, bugs come through. Can't stop it. Try stopping it. Not to mention, there's this space in between where the deadbolt is. So I mean, just even a little a wedge and a push, and the door will come open. The front door, the back
The
door.
door will come open
Yeah,
based on what?
on
Just
it's a little like a wedge of the deadbolt. It's like not not tightly secured. It's like this space.
And you have evidence of this on your phone?
Not the front door, but the back door I do. Because I can't, there's no way to other than to do it, to see it yourself, that you can look at and see through you can see into the house.
Okay, so why, if you could see it, why couldn't you have taken a video and or photos of that?
It was because it was on the movie checklist, and I didn't think about that. But the same with the back door, but the back door has a hole in it that you can visually see. That I did take pictures of.
Back door has a hole? What kind of hole?
Okay, where the frame is, in between the frame and the door at the bottom, you can see the outside right through there, like mice and stuff
You can
come
show
in
them
and
the
out.
hole. Or the picture of the hole that you're referencing.
Sorry, my wife had all this stuff set up for me. I don't know how to navigate through these things.
Well, your wife was supposed to be here in court anyways. She resides in the property. She's never appeared.
She's either working at this time or right now she's going to get the kids from school.
I recognize those things, but none of those things.
I didn't know she was supposed to be here. My apologies.
Yeah, if she lives in the property, she's being evicted.
I guess because she wasn't on the lease. You thought she didn't have to be here. My apologies.
What's your wife's name?
Stephanie Greer.
Okay. We're still waiting for you to produce some evidence.
Yes, yes.
Your Honor, is this, if I may, is this is Mr. Greer producing these photos to demonstrate his damages for his counterclaim, or is he producing these photos for the basis of showing that the property was not kept?
I believe that I'm
That's
asking
correct.
about, that was what I asked about. I asked about his claim that the property had code compliance issues and habitability issues. He also stated the property was pink tagged.
Yes, that is
So
correct.
that's what I'm asking for.
It is still pink tag.
It is still pink
It
tagged?
is still pink tag, and now they're adding red tags to apartments out there.
Okay, so your particular unit is pink tagged though?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and how long has it been pink tagged? You have a copy of the pink tag?
No, not.
Why not?
You can't take it off of the window.
Did you take a picture of? Because typically when they pink tag the property, there's a notice that comes to you that explains to you what's going on. Did you get that notice?
Yes, I did.
Where's a copy of the notice?
I want to say we submitted with the other stuff earlier.
I don't know what you mean.
If Mr. Greer is referring to the pleadings, I don't believe they're attached to the pleadings. There is a report attached to Mr. Greer's counter complaint. I'm not sure if that's what he's referring to.
I don't know what he's talking about either.
Your Honor, if I may, though, with respect to his counterclaims.
We're not dealing with the counterclaims yet.
Okay, yes, Your Honor.
Code compliance officer,
Okay, I have a safety inspection correction notice, re-inspection required. Are you talking about that, sir?
yes.
Okay, it said inspection type safety from inspection date October 4th, 2023. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes,
And they were supposed to bring it to compliance by November 3rd, 2023?
that's correct.
Okay, it states, at the request of the tenant, a safety inspection was done on this unit. And it was cited for workmanship, repairs, maintenance work, alterations, or installation that are caused directly or indirectly by the enforcement of this code shall be executed and installed in a workman-like manner and installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. So it says in the basement, the handrail is missing. It says inspector's comment in stairwell to basement. It also says that there's a light fixture that's loose hanging and has exposed wiring. It says there is a large accumulation of combustibles stored in the basement. And that this was noted in the 2022 rental inspection. It says that the service panel lacks proper access, maintenance, or maintain a 3 feet clearance in front of the service panel for emergency access. It says the furnace, due to age and or conditions, have a qualified mechanical contractor that is registered with the city of Lansing visually inspect and perform a recognized test of the furnace heat exchange for CO and CO2 leaks. The furnace also lacks a clean filter. It says clothes dryer vent is improperly installed. Let's see. That there was some duct tape being used to vent the dryer. Says on the exterior, the citations were. Let's see. Says all windows and exterior doors, including storm windows and doors, shall be weather tight and in good repair during the months of May through October. Every opening directly from a dwelling unit to outdoor space shall have supplied screens and self-closing device. And every window or door shall have an opening or openings to outer space used or could be used for ventilation shall likewise be supplied with screens. All screen doors and screens shall be in good repair. And it says there are gaps around at the bottom of the entrance door. So that must be what you're talking about the front door?
Yes.
That was something that was noted a year prior to, and the rental, or over a year, because it says May 17, 2022 rental inspection. First floor, it says a return or supply air registers are clogged, dirty, and require cleaning. It says countertop and kitchen is deteriorated. Let's see, it says there's some water damage, drywall on the ceiling, the first floor bathroom. There's a guard rail in the basement staircase is loose. On the second floor, handrail is missing. In the stairwell to the second floor, it says hardware damaged or missing from door to bedroom. Bedroom doors are damaged or off the hinges. I'm not inclined to believe that was because of normal wear and tear.
That was on the checklist. That was one of the things on the move-in checklist.
So when you moved in, the doors were off the hinges
Yes,
and you moved in anyways?
I thought I could fix it, or they were gonna come and fix it, because
Okay.
I reported it.
Okay. Toilet is loose at the connection to the floor. It says that was already noted in 2022. Bathroom or bathtub has a chip missing enamel, something that was previously noted in May 2022. Bathroom sink countertop loose, not secure, something previously noted in 2022. Let's see. And so you said that since that time, your property's been pink tagged?
Yes.
Oh. Any other evidence to support your claims about the condition of the property?
I have. I guess that's it. The tub and the refrigerators, appliances, so. Like, yeah, the screens, we never got the screens. Can't use the bottom of the bathtub, only the shower.
Okay, well, I think that this document from code compliance is probably the best way to explain what's going on with those situations. And I see that they were supposed to bring that up to compliance by November. Did they come back out after November? Did they
No,
get another
yeah.
inspection?
No, yeah.
Have they made any corrections to any of these issues since then?
Just the handle to going upstairs.
They
And then that
came
fell-
and they only fixed the handle?
Yeah, and that fell off again. And then they were supposed to come back and fix the hanging light going towards the basement. They did not do that. They were going to come fix the tub, and then they said, well, we won't be able to be into the apartment for 2 or 3 days when they do the tub. I'm like, well, are y'all putting us up into the hotel for 2 or 3 days? I can't just leave my apartment. I don't have no place to go for 2 to 3 days. And so they were supposed to.
They wanted you to leave to do that, you said?
Yeah, because they said that whatever they use in the bathtub to,
It's toxic.
yeah. So we would have to let that clear out for 2 days.
Okay, and then they didn't provide any place for you to go during that time, is what you're saying?
Exactly, man. And I asked them if they were going to do that, can they put us up in a hotel for 2 or 3 days? And he said he'll get back with Melinda about that. And Melinda would talk to me about it. He's just making.
Okay, so I see here, you have attached in a document here, it says that, what's your name? What is your name? I'm talking to you on Zoom. Can you unmute?
Okay, Elizabeth Latham Davis.
Thomas Latham Davis.
I'm sorry, they're noticing they can hear these. I didn't say they can hear me too because I have a conditional dismissal. Okay, back on this one. This document states that there was a lack of certificate because it was pink tagged.
Correct.
When was this, where did you get this document
From the, is it the website? That, from the information given on for the pink tags and what it means, there is a website where you can find all the information you need about what goes on and what pertains to the pink tag.
Okay, and so this says it was, the date file was May of 2023.
When they were tagged, I believe so, yes.
Okay. What other evidence do you have, sir?
That's all I have on me.
What is the purpose of the April bank statement? I don't understand.
They said that I didn't pay April's rent, which I did. I paid April's. I was, what I got ready for is to respond to.
So you said that your rent was deducted from your account, is that what you're showing me? How much was your rent?
It was supposed to be $1,000. They've been charging me $1,100 plus late fees. Now, late fee and in the that's the other part of the itemized subpoena I made was for them to show that charge, because I was only supposed to be getting charged $1,000 for $75 for one late fee and then $30 if it gets later than that. But they've been charging me $75 for one late fee and then $75 again on another late fee, plus $1,100 in rent, which is not supposed to be.
Help me understand this. I see a teller withdrawal for $852.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be your rent, you're saying?
Yeah, that was a partial from part of the source of where I got to pay the rent.
And then on April 20th, 2023, Woodside Meadows rent $250.
Yes, that was the rest of the
How do I know that this $850 went to them? Because it just says teller withdrawal.
okay. Which is another issue, is because they changed their residential portal. It has all of that information on it, and I have not been able to access that.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you go through the portal to pay your rent?
Yep.
Okay, so you wouldn't be paying via cash or money order or anything like that? Oh, so teller withdrawal typically means you went to the teller and withdrew money.
Yeah, that I had to pay that way because I didn't have it on my card. So I had to withdraw money from my wife's account and get the other $250 from what was left of my paycheck to pay that month.
Okay,
And
so how do I know that the $842, they received it if you withdrew it and had cash? How did you pay them the $852?
did I get a money order? I may have gotten a money order, but I got the receipt for that. I'm sorry, I didn't know I was gonna need that.
I'm sorry, what did you think you were coming to court for? You haven't brought me any evidence yet.
Haven't?
Yeah, that was today. Today was the day for you to bring all your evidence and present it at court. I had to go to your filing, to see what you filed, but that's not appropriate. That's not how you present evidence. You're here, you have folders and you don't have any evidence in those folders. You got envelopes, but it seems like you don't have any evidence. You haven't presented any pictures. You don't have a copy of the pink tag notice. You don't have.
Yeah, because I wasn't ready for the questions you're asking. I thought I was presenting my evidence to their counter defense. That's what I do have evidence.
No, you're
for.
presenting your evidence to we first have to address the eviction because you are being sued for an eviction. And you filed a defense saying that you shouldn't be evicted because there was a condition of the property. We've adjourned this multiple times, and I told you it was because you need to be able to bring all of your evidence.
this is why people pay for lawyers. I'm sorry, man.
It's exactly why people pay for
I
lawyers.
got evidence. I'm sorry, I was confused on how to present this today. My apologies.
No worries. Anything else you have? Because I can't, I'm in no position to reset this for you anymore.
No, I got. See, I haven't presented evidence.
I'm going to construe what you attached to your complaint or counter complaint as evidence of the code compliance issues that we just discussed.
Yes, and the code compliance itself, because I apologize, I didn't realize.
Is there any other issues that you believe made the conditions of the property not habitable?
Besides the safety, the safety, and that's because they have not secured a certificate of occupancy.
Okay.
Is one of the biggest reasons.
Okay, but
and then the failure to maintain.
okay, did they come fix the furnace issue that was cited?
No.
Okay, so the
It's
furnace has
still
not
got
been,
it's still got the dirty air filter, and they told me that I can't change it, that they have to do that.
okay, and but your furnace has been working, is what you're saying?
Yes, it's been working.
Okay, the filter
But
needs to be
it's-
changed?
Yes.
Okay. Any other issues?
No, it was all covered in the code compliance and what I have on email,
Okay, very good.
Yes,
And now your
yes.
counterclaim. You're countersuing them for,
moving costs. And
for the cost of you moving in there?
no, for moving costs to move out of there, seeing how, because they still haven't secured a certificate of occupancy, so they can't even present me with a lease to sign, which I still planned on moving because it's been 3 years and they still haven't fixed nothing.
Okay, so you moved in there 3 years ago?
Yes.
Okay, when's the
But it
last time you paid
changed.
rent?
April
Of
of
2023?
2023.
Your last rental payment was April 2023, and
That
you
is
say
correct.
you paid how much?
The 1,100
Okay, so.
plus late fees, I'm sorry.
Okay, so in 2 days will be March of 2024, so almost a year.
Yes.
We'll say 11 months of no rent
Yep.
at $1,100 a month. $12,100 in past due rent. Is that accurate? For just rent? I'm not talking about the late fees that would of course accrued.
I'm showing an outstanding balance of 12,182.29, Your Honor.
Okay, and so you believe that you lived in the property for 11 months because of the conditions that you stated, which means you've not paid rent during those months, and that they should forgive that amount of money and then pay you to move.
When you put it like that? No,
That's how you put it. I didn't put it that way.
I guess I didn't understand how this was supposed to go. If I supposed to have moved before all and still did the counterclaim, I would have even had.
That's up to you if you want to do that.
Yeah, see that, I guess this is why it's important to have a lawyer.
Indeed,
But,
indeed, let me explain something to you. So typically, if you're going to make a claim that the property was kept in such gross or grotesque condition that it infringed on your ability to live there, or it was not habitable, then typically, in good faith, and this is according to the law, you would have had the option in a pink tag situation to escrow your rent. You can get, nothing about a pink tag says you don't have to pay your rent.
Okay. No,
It's not a
I
red
didn't
tag,
see
it's a
that.
pink tag. You still either pay your rent or you could escrow it, because when you escrow your rent, you're showing that you're operating in good faith. I'm not trying to live here for free and stiff you because of what's going on. I want the situation fixed so that I can live here. And until it's fixed, I'm gonna put my money in escrow, my rent money. Have you escrowed your rent?
No, ma'am. I haven't.
Okay, so do you have your 11 months of rent safely stored somewhere?
Not 11 months, no, because
It's just a yes or no. I don't need
Okay,
to get
I'm sorry.
into yes or
Go
no.
ahead.
So no, you do not.
No, ma'am.
Okay, And so the conditions that I see here, and I'm not disputing the fact that your property is pink tag and there may have been an issue with the certificate because of that pink tag. What I am stating is that you continue to live in this house, and the things that you're sharing with me, I do believe that they would have some effect on your ability to live there 100% comfortable. But do I think that they rose to a level that you were almost evicted from this property? Like, I couldn't live here, there was no heat, Your Honor. It was raining in my unit and we had mold and we were getting sick and we've got mite. Like, no, none of those things are evidence that you brought me today.
Yeah, see, I didn't think about all that stuff.
Yeah, well-
Because that's all happened, yeah. I was under the impression that I had enough, but I guess I was wrong.
What's all
I
happened?
apologize.
You didn't have any heat?
But yeah, at one point they had to change the entire water heater. That was in 2022. They had to change, they
Okay,
had to change the whole water heater.
But
out.
they changed it?
leaked, yeah.
Immediately?
No. it
How
took-
many days did you go without hot water?
About a week and a half.
Okay, you notified them immediately,
Yes.
and then they responded immediately, and it took them a week and a
They
half to get
told
it
me
cleared?
that, yeah, I spoke to them immediately, yes, but they didn't respond immediately, no.
Okay, you told, and you have proof that that happened?
I do, and I do have on my pictures on my phone. I'm sorry, and it's not this one, it's another one too.
Okay,
I do apologize for that.
anything else about your counterclaim as to why you believe they should pay you to move when you haven't paid rent in 11 months?
And not at this time.
Thank you. Did you want to address the counterclaim?
Yes, Your Honor. Firstly, the proofs which Mr. Greer attached to his counter complaint really don't show that he's incurred any expense. It sounds like perhaps he's asking for future expenses for moving, but it hasn't been incurred, so he's not out anything. He hasn't sustained any damage. He hasn't presented this court any proofs for that counter claim, so I'm asking the court to dismiss that counterclaim on that basis because he hasn't shown the court adequate proofs for it. And in other words, there's no way for us to be able to identify these damages. So on that basis, I would ask the court to dismiss them.
I did
Okay.
bring proof for his.
I didn't give you, you can have a seat.
Okay.
Okay, I also want you to address why your client has not addressed this pink tag issue.
Your Honor, it's my understanding that management has been out there and they were out there in November. And they have looked at these and actually have a
Looked at what?
property. They went out to Mr. Greer's property.
Did they fix the issues that were cited by code compliance?
One moment, I'm sorry. There was a note on this. Yes, so Your Honor, maintenance and the property manager went over on November 13th, 2023. And they asked Mr. Greer if they could, or Mrs. Greer, to come back on November 14th, 2023. They made a list of the things that needed to be corrected.
Okay, it's February,
And
almost March. Is it corrected? Because this code compliance note that I have here clearly indicates that the majority of the things that were cited were already noted at the inspection on May 17, 2022.
Yeah, so as I'm reading, all items have been completed but the back door. And that the kitchen counter will likely need replacement. There was a discussion regarding the tub, but there seems to be there was a discussion regarding the tub about whether or not it needed to be fixed because Mr. Greer or Mrs. Greer had indicated that they planned on moving.
That's not what code compliance said. The code compliance didn't say, have a discussion about whether or not it needed to be fixed.
Right, the report by code compliance though is from October of 2023, Your Honor.
Correct, but this was noted May 17, 2022 on the rental inspection. The tub was specifically noted, the bathroom sink was noted, the doors were noted, the handrail was noted in 2022. So almost 2 years ago, these
Right.
things were noted, and I don't have any evidence that they were addressed.
Right, Your Honor, and I understand that what I probably would need to do and what I should do is perhaps contact the property manager and see if they can appear on Zoom to be able to confidently testify as to that.
They were supposed to be here today. This
Yes,
matter was scheduled for a hearing at 2 o'clock. It's 2:48.
yes, Your Honor. With the court, I don't think it would be difficult to get the property manager on Zoom.
I'm not doing it today. I have other people waiting for their hearing.
Okay,
If you don't have your witnesses prepared to go today at the time of the hearing, you got one of two things. I can make a ruling based on what I have, or I can adjourn it, because this is your client's case, to a date that you can get them subpoenaed here to testify appropriately, because once they testify, he gets to cross-examine them.
I understand. Yes, Your Honor.
And so it's almost 3 o'clock. They're not here yet.
Could we do an adjournment?
I can continue this
Okay,
so that you can have your witnesses appear.
okay,
And then that also means you can bring your evidence, and not on your phone. I don't want to go looking through your phone.
I
And
understand,
this is your time to present all of your evidence.
I understand,
If you don't come with the evidence, then it didn't happen, okay?
I understand.
Thank you. I'll get you a new date.
thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
JS is down. We'll send you a date in the mail, because our system is down.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. I don't see this Ms. Hall here, no. And who is the plaintiffs?
Yeah.
Okay, they, for the Lathams? Yeah, they need to come in for that one.
And that's Mr. March in the bag.
Mr. March, Mr. March,
Yes,
LaWanda Hines has not appeared. How did you want to proceed on that?
Well, I'm kind of confused because she's got the money for the back rent from CAC. And that's supposed to be mailed out on the 15th, and then she's supposed to be mailing her next month check to me on Friday, which is the 3rd.
I can reset this out and then you'll see if you get your money.
Okay,
If
that's
you-
kind of what I want to do to make sure that it is, if everything happens the way it's supposed to, I just want it all to go away, but
Okay,
Want to
if
be
she,
able to
if she
reopen
pays
it.
in full, then you can file a dismissal.
I'm sorry?
If she pays in full before this next court date, you can just file a dismissal with the court.
Okay, that works.
If not, then she'll need to appear in court for the hearing.
Okay,
So, you said CAC is gonna pay a large portion?
yes.
When do you believe that's supposed to happen?
They said they were gonna mail the check out on the 15th of March. So within, 3 to 5 days, I guess, after that.
Okay, so we'll give you a date after that. We will reset it after that date. Our system is down, so we'll send you a notice for the next court date in the mail. You're at the address on Bluegrass.
Correct.
That's where the notice will go, okay?
And she'll get one also?
We'll send her to the address on Malon.
Okay, perfect.
All right, thank you.
And thank you.
No problem.
So you need a different sweatshirt.
Okay, Ms. Hall and then Mr. Brown. On the record in the matter of Belkin versus Latham, file number 23-03193, LT, council appearance.
Attorney Chris Brown representing plaintiff.
And Attorney Alyssa Hull with Legal Services, South Central Michigan, representing the defendants Elizabeth and Alice Latham.
Okay, today was the date and the time that was scheduled for a hearing. There is a conditional dismissal, is that correct?
Yes, Your
That's
Honor.
correct, Your Honor.
Okay, what are the terms?
The terms are that the Lathams shall pay $1,500 on or before March 15th of 2024. And thereafter, defendant shall pay the monthly rent obligation of $950 each month on time. And in addition, pay $800 per month towards the total listed in 2D, which is $5,952.42. They'll pay that $800 during the course of the month until the account becomes current. And that's the my file.
Thank you. Is that accurate, Mr. Brown?
It is, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Latham, is that accurate as to how you want to proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. And you both understand that you have the right in this matter to proceed to a jury trial?
Yes,
Okay, and are you willing to waive your jury trial today?
yes,
Has anybody threatened you to get you to waive your jury trial?
no,
Okay, let's see. I do see a conditional dismissal here. And so you want the matter dismissed today upon the condition that you'll pay the amount of $5,952.42 for rent due and owing through the time period of February 29, 2024, correct?
Yes.
correct,
And that you shall pay $1,500 on or before March 15, 2024, correct?
correct,
And that you shall make a monthly rent payment obligation of $950 on time each month, in addition to paying $800 per month toward the balance that was listed in 2D, that was stated as $5,952.42. Is that correct?
correct,
Okay, you understand that partial performance on that agreement or this agreement will not satisfy. So that means if you miss a payment, or if you pay your rent, but you don't pay the $800 when you're supposed to pay it on that balance, that the plaintiff does have the right to have judgment entered against you immediately without giving you any notice. You understand that?
yes,
Okay, you have 3 business days from today's date. If once you leave here, you realize that you misunderstood any of the rights that you've waived, such as your right to a trial, you can return to the court. You can request to have this agreement set aside, and we'll set this matter for a hearing, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions for the court?
no,
Any additional matters for the record? Thank you.
None, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, you're all set.
thank you.
You're welcome. Um. You have that right? Did I get that? Did I put in the right, did I put a note in the wrong thing? I think you gave it to me, but I didn't take it. You said it was Williams? Okay, Mr. and Miss Williams, were you supposed to be here at 2 o'clock?
Ma'am, I'm sorry, she and I thought it was 2:40.
2:40?
Yeah,
We don't even hold cases at 2:40.
we was up and ready. I thought it was 2:40.
What time did you get here?
2:30.
I reset your matter. It was 2 o'clock. We don't do anything at 2:40 anyway, so. No, and so the attorney was here. He probably left around 2:10, 2:15, I can't recall.
Wow, I'm very sorry. We was up and ready to go, waiting on 2:40.
We got the kids out of the school room.
At 2 o'clock.
Yep, you were supposed to be here at 2 o'clock. We'll get you a new notice to appear. JS is still down.
It's up now.
Oh.
We'll do March 27th at 2:30.
March 27th at 2:30.
Can we,
We're gonna give you a paper with that date on it.
okay, we had it, all right,
What's your question?
nothing, we had it, but I just read it wrong,
Okay, highlight the time and date on the form.
please.
We'll get that for you, and then that way the attorney that's supposed to be here
It's back.
is back down.
Did you all get those photographs through the email?
I wouldn't have gotten them because they wouldn't have come to me. Where do you send them?
What's the name?
You guys-
What's your name? What's the
Richard.
name? What name would have come from? Your son, correct?
Yes, what the case number on?
It's a link and I'm not clicking on the link.
Oh, if he sends a link, we can't click on it.
Oh, my God.
He's got to send an attachment. We can't click on links and stuff because it's a risk for viruses. So glad you brought that up so they can get it cleared. It looks like your son did send an email, but he clicked it, probably put a link with the photos. He's got to attach the photos and then send them that way. Your other option is to print.
Attach the photos.
If you just say that, he'll know what we're talking about.
Okay,
He can, because you have the option of just attaching each photo individually. Sometimes your device that you're using will give you a capacity limit, and so that might be why he tried to download a share drive or something. We can't click that here. We can't even take someone's drive and stick it in our computers. So we need him to either print those pictures for you, which you have ample time now, which is the preferred method. The preferred method is that you're supposed to bring a copy of your evidence because they need to have a copy too.
yeah,
And
we sent it to him.
that doesn't, well, if they have it, that's fine, but we don't have it. And if you want to present it to the court, we would need you to have it with you. So if he already has it in electronic form, that's fine. He or she, I don't know who, I think it's Mr. Whitty, that they, or Mrs. Whitty, whoever appears, they're fine if they have it in electronic form, but you have to present it to the court and we can't click a link. I don't like to look through people's phones because that's not how you're supposed to present evidence. So if there are photos that can be printed, you can go to Walgreens, Walmart, wherever you can print photos, you should print those photos and bring them with you to court if they can't be attached
I
properly.
thought they said I couldn't do that because I've done that before. I have photos.
Who said you couldn't bring photos?
I don't,
No, that's how we present evidence in court.
okay.
Exhibit A is usually a photo or something.
Okay.
Okay, so you can bring your photos if you have photos. That's the preferred method.
But what about the video that shows the rain?
If you don't, if the video is where it gets difficult. So the video, he can attach the video to an email and send it to us. He can't attach us a link. We can't click on the link of the video. He's got to attach it, or he can put it on if you have a computer, if he wants to come and assist you. We have a way to link your computer with your video up to this so that you can share.
All that little information down.
You want me to write all that down?
Well,
Or
you know,
should you be writing all that down?
I don't know what.
Just, what did you say? Click on to what link?
I said that he could bring a laptop device with him to court
Okay.
to assist you if that's what you need.
Okay.
If that's the only way to show your video, we have a way to hook your computer up to our Polycom and our screen will show. Okay, that's what we're saying. The other option is he can attach the video directly to an email. But it can't be in a link that we have to click. It just has to be an attachment. An attachment, correct. If he has questions between now and the 27th, there's ample time for him to call the court and get these questions answered.
Well, he's getting ready, him and his girlfriend on the first is getting ready to move down to South Carolina. They have 2 jobs down there, so he would have to do it now.
Well, he can call from South Carolina. The phones work from there to here. He can call from anywhere to find out how he can help his parents if that's what he wants to do to get the evidence here. But what I'm saying is, as it relates to your ability to communicate effectively to what he needs, I understand that this is language in a lot of technology that you may not be used to.
Hey,
So
we're learning it, we're trying to learn.
I'm sure your grandkids probably can help you do it. They probably know how to get the evidence up there. But if you can't, you can ask him to contact the court if he doesn't know what it means to get something attached, and we can explain it to him directly if that's what you like, okay? But have him do it before the 27th.
Okay. Oh, March.
March 27th, and I think we'll send you that date in the mail, okay? 2:30.
2:30. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Brown, you had another matter?
Yes, Your Honor. It's 5 minutes. I think we might have come into a partial settlement.
Okay,
We have
sounds
2 defendants.
Sounds good.
this case off the record, but everybody's here, so this is not ex parte. We have reached a settlement as to one of the defendants. We would like to submit that settlement, Your Honor. My request would be to submit that tomorrow, since I have to have a hearing today on one of the defendants. Meaning, I would like the court not to know what that settlement is, and I would like the defendant not to know what that settlement is as to the other defendant.
He just told us what the settlement.
He just told us outside.
Because settlement negotiations are not admissible in whenever we have a hearing.
He told us something different twice already.
Okay, so I'm assuming, just based on what I hear now, that you entered a settlement with Ms. Hall's client. She's representing the person on Zoom right now.
That's correct.
And you don't want that settlement to be disclosed to the other party?
To the court or anybody,
Well, the settlement's gonna get disclosed to the court.
but not prior to the hearing.
It's gonna get disclosed to the court, that's what I'm saying. So you don't want them to know about the settlement before, or how her matters resolved before they have their hearing, because it has what bearing on their case? Is that what you believe had some effect on their case?
I believe it could, Your Honor, yes.
Okay,
I have the settlement paperwork right here, in fact.
I'm sorry,
He gave us the settlement paper already.
for your case?
Yeah, and he's splitting it. He's offering her the same deal he just offered me.
Well, we don't know, you don't
Settlements are
know,
not
you don't know what they discussed outside of what you know.
He just told us outside that he.
That could have
offered.
changed, you don't know that though. So, you only know what the settlement offer was for you, and I set your matter for hearing today. Because you indicated to the court that you had moved out.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you want to run that hearing first?
Yes,
Okay, and whatever settlement that, it's gotta go on the record. I'm not doing it tomorrow, it's gonna happen today. Tomorrow, we're doing felonies.
Procedural. Can we do that settlement by Zoom so that Ms. Hall could possibly go back to her office or wherever?
We're gonna do it today. She's here, her client is here, everybody's
Okay.
here. What do you mean?
I'll fill in the conditional dismissal paperwork with the terms, and I'll be available for the court and for us to put that on the record,
Okay,
perhaps after you finish.
okay.
Okay.
And so, and I think my concern is, I want to know how this is being dismissed, because I want to know, you're seeking how much? You're seeking a money judgment?
Yes,
Oh, they're gonna be joint severably liable then. I'm confused. If I were to determine that this amount of rent is owed, it wouldn't be owed to by one person. If they were both, because I would have to determine they both were on the lease.
yes, but if we chose to split, for example, if we chose to split the amount due in half and reach a settlement for half of the amount of money, then I would want to go to a hearing and ask for all of the amount of money from the second defendant because of joint and several liability. That's the way it
Wait,
works.
let me
That
follow.
way I would
If
have-
you reached a
Instead of
settlement,
having a-
hypothetically, you reached a settlement for half the amount of money you said?
Correct.
Okay, that's owed, you want to seek the entire amount in a judgment against the other person?
That is correct. And then as soon as the entire amount is actually paid, then the other judgment is paid off as well. I can't have two judgments for half of the amount of money and then be joint and several, because then I'm settling for half.
Well, no, if you were to, that'd be different. If you didn't reach, let's hypothetically say you reached a conditional dismissal settlement where someone's fully responsible for half, then I'm not gonna order joint and several for the other person. That's what I'm saying. And then they will be fully responsible for their half, but I don't know I don't have a clue what's going on. I don't even know how much the rent is. And she has the right to call this person as a witness if she wants
Understood.
for her case. Because she's gonna present, based on what you said last time, some screenshots of text messages from this person.
Understood. In that case, I don't think I can do the settlement then. And we'll just go with the joint and several liability and have a quick hearing
Let's do it.
for all parties.
Your witness did not appear, though. You were expecting a witness?
Oh, he's coming in person?
He's coming in person? What date's coming in person?
He's not needed right now.
Oh. Well, he is if we're starting a hearing. It's for this case?
It is.
Okay, well, we're on the record in the matter of Barut versus Cordier and Ashworth, file number 23-03189 LT, council appearance.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Attorney Chris Brown representing plaintiff in this matter.
And Alyssa Hall with Legal Services of South Central Michigan, representing defendant Ashford.
Ma'am, you're representing yourself, so you need to state your name for the record.
Anna Codier.
Okay, and today was the date and the time set for hearing, and this was for non-payment of rent, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and so, Mr. Brown, you can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You can have a seat.
Your Honor, if I may call my first witness, Paige Luce.
Come up here. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you. You can have a seat. Okay, you can question your witness.
Please state your last name, first and last name.
Paige Luce.
You spell your last name,
L-U-C.
and you are an office assistant with Garner Property Management, is that correct?
Yes.
Garner Property Management manages the property located at 1015 Johnson, Lansing, Michigan, 48906.
Yes.
Are you familiar with the books and records for 1015 Johnson, Lansing, Michigan, 48916?
Yes.
Is there a lease agreement for that property between Garner Property Management and a Shannon M. Cordier and Sherry L. Ashworth?
Yes.
Is the term of that lease agreement from May the 26th, 2023 and end on May 31st, 2024? May I approach and hand a copy of the?
Yes.
Thank you. And what is the rent in paragraph 3 of that lease?
$975 per month.
And then there is a discount I see of $75 if it's actually paid on time.
Yes.
So that would take it to $900 per month if it was actually paid on time. Miss Lease, is this a registered rental in the city of Lansing?
Yes.
At any point in time, to the best of your knowledge, has this property ever been tagged, whether it be pink tag, red tag, any tag at all?
No.
Miss Lease, for the issue of habitability, would it be fair to say that the code office for the city of Lansing is the actual licensing agency and inspects properties and decides whether they're habitable or not? Did they do so in this case?
Yes.
Again, to the best of your knowledge, recently, how many times has an inspector been to the property at 1015 Johnson Avenue? Has the property, again, ever been tagged in any way, shape, or form? Is there a valid rental housing license on this premises?
Yes.
Ms. Lease, is there an accounting system used during the normal course of business for all the tenants for Garner Property Management in which rents are received and entered on tenant ledgers and then printed off?
Yes.
Can I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
I'm going to go back real quick, Your Honor. To the lease agreement, Ms. Luce, could you turn to the last page, please? You see a signature from Garner Property Management, also a Shannon M. Cordier and a Sherry L. Ashworth.
Yes.
Ms. Lease, in paragraph 16, dealing with animals. How many animals are allowed on the premises?
2.
How many?
2.
Thank you. Could you please speak up a little bit louder? Thank you. Ms. Luce. Under paragraph 15, maintenance and repair. Under A as an apple. Could you please read out loud the last sentence? Yep. Under 15, A is an apple, last sentence.
Tenant will arrange and pay for labor and materials for all individual repairs under.
Thank you. And again, if you please remember to speak up loudly. And then Ms. Luce, under paragraph 15, H as in hotel. Could you please read the last sentence of that paragraph?
All maintenance requests must be submitted in writing by email to Garner Real Estate at AOL.com.
Thank you. Your Honor, I'd ask that the lease be submitted as an exhibit in this matter. I provided a copy.
Is there a claim as to habitability or some condition of the property?
I believe.
Because I don't know if I
Yes.
received.
We filed a affirmative defenses and counterclaims.
Okay, I do see that. Okay, thank you. You can submit that to the court.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Ms. Luce, back to the tenant ledger that you had already testified that was prepared in the ordinary course of business. What is the current amount total due?
$6,060.12.
Oh, that's the total amount due right now?
$60.12.
Ms. Luce, does that also, are the court costs already in there?
They are.
Ms. Luce, do you have a calculator on you? Please subtract the court costs and let the court know what the tenant ledger balance is without court costs.
$5,819.19.
And does that tenant ledger show every single charge and every payment to date?
Yes.
Thank you. Your Honor, at this time, I believe that's all I need to say. This time I rest right now. Thank you.
Cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Luce. Regarding the city inspection documents, the registered license rental was just issued yesterday. Is that correct?
Yes.
That would be February 27th of 2024. It was issued. And the code inspection office has issued at least one report against to Garno Property Management. Is that correct?
That's the question. Does that mean like the repair list?
Yes, the repair list.
Yes.
And what happens to items that were, if items were not on that list, how would property management address those?
As long as we receive the request in email, like the lead statement, they would go out.
So if you received, or if Garno received an email on May 26th of 2023, November 23rd of 2023, November 30th of 2023, those items would have been repaired according to your protocols? Do you know if in this case, those repairs were made on this apartment?
Those I do not know.
Are you aware that Ms. Ashworth does not have any hot water in her apartment right now?
I wouldn't know. Personally, I have seen.
Okay, if an email was sent regarding that, would it have been addressed? No further questions.
I have no questions. Who's Julia? You know Julia?
That is the other office assistant.
Oh, so there's more than one office assistant?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you all work same days or it just depends on who answers the phone?
Not really. I know she works from a different office.
Oh, different office, okay. And then, let's see. What was the last, payment of rent? What date was the last rent payment received for these, tenants?
November 4th, 2024.
November 4th, 2023?
Yeah.
And what amount?
$490.
$190, okay. And I'm assuming that came from which tenant? Do you know which tenant it came from? Okay.
Oh, dear. In your honor, can I
Oh,
speak?
well, I'm asking
Oh,
questions.
I'm sorry.
I'll give you an opportunity to speak, but it's not now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. Ms. Ashworth. So we said,
Whichever one is still in the property. I always get this confused.
oh, okay, so whoever was still on the property
Sorry.
is the one who, okay. And the one that's still in the property would be Ms. Hall's client, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry.
That's Ms. Ashworth. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
If I may, I forgot to request that the tenant ledger be one of the exhibits. I provided a copy. May I approach for that? So you asked a question about payment.
Oh, I absolutely did. This is
And I
exhibit.
apologize.
what?
The ledger is not correct.
Wait a minute. You don't get to blurt out in my courtroom. That's not correct, okay? You have an attorney here that's representing you. You were supposed to be in person. Okay, you can ask questions while I look over this exhibit. You had another exhibit? Or just,
Not at this time.
I thought you questioned her about a lease. You gave it to me?
I did.
Okay, so this is plaintiff's A and this will be plaintiff's B.
For 11/4, that 490 was paid by me, Shannon
Sorry?
Clear.
This plaintiff.
And the receipt on.
Oh, wanna be, so this is how it works. I will tell you when it's your time to ask questions,
I thought you
okay?
were saying-
No, I was trying to mark his exhibits. I'm sorry. So, and then he interrupted me with that. I'll give you an opportunity in just a moment. I need to look over this ledger because it was just provided to me. Thank you. And then this one should be a plaintiff's 2. How much is their rent monthly?
975.
$975?
Yes.
They moved in May of 2023?
Correct.
Okay, now you can question.
Okay, the 11/4 payment for the $490 was actually paid by me.
So let me explain it for you, because I know you're representing yourself. You get to question this witness. This is not your time to give your testimony or to correct whatever you disagree about what she says. If she had said something that you disagree, make a note on it so that when I swear you in under oath, you can tell me your testimony. But you're asking her any questions that you want her to answer for the court.
Okay. On 11/4, it said that the payment was received on 11/4 for $490, but on the money receipt, the money order receipt, it was actually dated 8/22. Is that correct?
I would need a copy of it to look at that, but I do see it says it was received back then. On the
It was received when?
on the ledger, it states it was received on 8/22,
So it was,
but was found on November 4th.
okay, so it would have been lost and then found, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's what that means, okay. Any other questions for this
That's all,
witness?
Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Any redirect of your witness?
Yes. Ms. Luce, you were asked a question by Ms. Hull. She asked you if the rental housing license was then issued yesterday. Hasn't the rental housing license always been issued yesterday and just you completed the repairs from an inspection report yesterday?
Correct.
Is that because it's always been issued and always had a valid rental housing license? Otherwise, it would have been tagged.
This is a lot of
Lack
leading.
foundation.
First of all, why are you leading your witness? Thank you.
Again, are there any red tags or pink tags on this property? Does this property have a valid rental housing license?
Yes.
Has it always had a valid rental housing license during the term of this lease? Thank you.
Objection. I'd like to present something
Yeah,
to.
what is the objection?
Lack of foundation. Or I guess I'd like to impeach the witness. if
So you
I
want to
may do that.
cross-examine for the purposes of impeachment?
Yes.
I'll allow you to do that.
Okay. I would like to show you an inspection report and correspondence from the city inspector's office. I've sent council this.
Are these going to
2
be an
months ago.
exhibit
I'd
or?
like this to be an exhibit.
Okay, so your proposed exhibit, what? The first exhibit? A?
I had initially prepared this as exhibit Q.
We can keep it whatever exhibit you had it, so
exhibit
for your
Q
flow.
Would be.
Okay, defense exhibit Q.
And I'd like to present this to the witness if I can approach.
If you can approach, get it marked first, and then you can present. This is one exhibit, that whole
Yes.
document, okay.
If I may present that to you. This is marked as exhibit Q. Please take a moment to read through this document. And you recognize the last 2 pages of this exhibit as the rental inspection correction notice.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, you don't have to copy of this in front of you.
No, you can question and then I will, then you need to make a motion to admit it after that, so.
Stipulate to the admission of this document.
I do.
Okay. I'd like to move this for admission into.
It's admitted by stipulation.
Ms. Luce, the first page is an email from a code enforcement officer, is that correct?
Yes.
And it's addressed to me, Alyssa Hall, is that correct?
Correct.
And reading this, does this cause you to revise your answer about whether there was an rental license always on file for this property?
I guess I wouldn't know the exact process of it. I thought the license is always valid when the inspection's going on.
And this, however, code enforcement officer reports that the certificate was not issued.
Correct.
Okay, can you publish that to the court, please? That document. Okay, so your previous statement that their certificate was always valid was not correct.
If that is what it says, then no.
Is that what you said? I said. Well,
Yeah.
no, this is not your time
I
to raise
don't-
hands. I'm talking to the witness.
I just don't understand the process, I guess. Like,
Okay,
I
well,
thought it
you're
was
on the-
valid
you're on this-
while.
You're on the stand and you testified under oath. When the attorney led you at that wasn't it true that the certificate was always valid? You said yes. So she was attempting to impeach you. But I'm trying to clarify if you knew the answer when you gave it, or are you changing your answer? Because it may be that you gave an answer that you didn't have actual knowledge of. Is that what's going on?
Yes.
Okay, so when you made that statement in answer to Mr. Brown's question that there was always a valid inspection certificate or a rental certificate, and you said there was, that was not a true answer, correct?
Correct.
Okay, you had your hands raised for a reason, counsel?
I did, because I think the testimony of what we were talking about used the word issued. You used the word valid.
Well, it issued.
So I believe valid.
Well, issued, it says not issued.
I
And
believe
you
valid
asked
is-
her,
it's
you
not
asked her,
invalid.
you asked her, was it issued? She said it was always issued. And this statement, based on what she brought in, says that it wasn't issued. I'm asking her now, was her statement to you the truth? I don't think my term using the issued versus valid doesn't change her answer, though. Does it, ma'am? Were you aware whether or not the certificate was issued when you answered his question?
No.
It doesn't change your answer.
It almost does, because for it to be valid, meaning they're still waiting for repairs to be completed.
No,
It's valid,
this
meaning
state,
it's not
based on-
invalid,
based on the
otherwise it would be
exhibit,
tagged.
based on the exhibit you admitted, certificate was not issued. There was no certificate. It says. Gotta have a certificate first before it could be valid or invalid. It says there was no certificate issued.
Understood.
Okay. Did you want a question about this? Have you seen this document?
Yeah, I just started over. I don't have any questions.
Okay. Any more questions for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, and you may be excused from the stand, ma'am. Mr. Brown, you can call your next witness.
At this, I don't have another witness at this time.
Okay. So you're resting?
I am.
Okay. Did you intend to call witnesses?
I intended to call the tenant.
Okay.
And possibly in this.
Okay, who are you calling first?
I would like to call Cherie Ashworth.
Cherie Ashworth, we need to see your face, ma'am. You raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Counsel, you can proceed.
Hi, Ms. Ashworth. You moved into the apartment in May of 2023, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And were there any issues when you
Actually,
moved?
actually, when we got the key, we didn't fully move in yet. We had we agreed to do the cleaning on our own, and then we moved our stuff in. So I'm not 100% sure the exact date we moved in, but I believe it would have been June.
And what do you mean by agreed agreed to do the cleaning?
When me and Miss Coder were in the office with Julie, the other office person, she discussed that there would be cleaning fees, and we had told her that we would do the cleaning ourselves.
They were going to charge you for cleaning before moving in?
Yes, ma'am.
How much was that fee going to be?
I honestly cannot recall.
Okay. And did you send
But
an
it might be
email
on the
to?
documents.
Okay, did you send an email to Garno Real Estate at AOL.com per the lease agreement shortly after moving in?
The first email I had sent them was when I had first got the code for the house, and I ended up coming into the home, and I had let Julie know that there was problems with the heat working as well as hot water.
Can you look at, I've sent Ms. Ashworth all of the intended exhibits for today. Can you look at what I've indicated as Exhibit A? I'd like to have a document marked as Exhibit A.
Yes, ma'am. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I have Exhibit A in front of me.
And do you recognize what this document is?
Yes, ma'am. It's the email between me and Garno.
And is that an email dated May 26th of 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
And is this a true and accurate a screenshot of your email from you to Garno?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to move this into exhibit as Exhibit A.
Any objections to defense Exhibit A?
None.
Admitted.
Okay. And Ms. Ashworth, this email references that you do not have hot water and the heat is not working. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that was right when you were moving in, right?
When I had got the code to get the keys to come in and clean. So that was before we actually even moved in.
And was the heat or hot water fixed at that time?
I don't fully recall. I believe that I don't remember his name. Let me look at the email. Mike, one of their contractor people, was supposed to be coming out and he never ended up showing up. So I'm not certain exactly what day they came and fixed the problem.
That's okay. You have an approximation. Was it within a week? Was it 2 weeks?
Yes,
Do you have
ma'am.
some?
Within a week for sure.
Okay. Ms. Ashworth, you look at Exhibit B that I've marked as Exhibit B, and I'm going to give a copy to the court to mark as Exhibit B.
You want to staple it? It's one exhibit, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll staple it.
And Ms. Ashworth, what is, can you look at Exhibit B and identify what that is for us?
Yes, ma'am. That's an email between me and Gardner Property Management on 11/22 of 23.
And is this a true and accurate copy of the screenshot of your email?
Yes, ma'am, right off of my phone.
And can you tell me about what issues you are addressing in this email? Like, I'm sorry, conditions of the apartment that you wanted addressed by emailing this to Garno.
I recall this email was because they stated, sorry, they stated that I ended up missing an inspection. And the first inspection I ever had on the house, me and Miss Coder received the email stating when the inspection. And I also had contact with Anthony, one of their contractors, that they would be coming out to fix the stuff if my dogs would be locked up or if I would be home. And so when I had seen them charge me and Miss Coder on there for missing an inspection, I had reached out to them and I had told them that they never notified us of an inspection and that they tried to tell me that they saw me in person the day before the inspection and stated that it would be the following day. And I told them in this email that I never received the email from them, nor did anybody come to my home besides the guys coming prior to working on the outside of the house, which is then when I stated to them that.
Are you talking about two different inspections? One where you were emailed and you let them in, is that correct? And
Yes,
then
ma'am.
where this email is response to a second inspection.
Yes, ma'am. That was supposed to be the re-inspection because they had a lot of things on the list that they needed to fix. And so in the email, I had stated that they never told me about the inspection and that I had asked the maintenance man the times and I had called and when it would be, and he said he had no idea. And I told him I had no response. And I also have called them, I said in the email 3 times about coming to fix the stuff after the fact. And he had spoke to me and gave me dates and times and he never showed up. And I told them that my dogs were not put up because they never did what they should have, which is inform their tenants of an inspection. I said, so they waited until the last minute to even fix anything, which was the outside work. And I told them I've been dealing with all this stuff since all the rain and the storms. And I asked them.
Yeah, can you describe, you're talking about them fixing the inside stuff. Can you tell us what that is? Or what that was at the time of this email in November?
Yes, I'm getting to that part in the email. I told them, do I want to live in a leaky house? Because it's a fire hazard above my stove because there was about 4 leaks above my stove, as well as black mold currently. And when they came, I think it was last week, they only put a patch job up above the stove and there's still black mold in there. So then I stated as well as Shanna Coder's bedroom.
And what about when you said a leaky house, can you describe what are the places that there were leaks in November of 2023?
That would be Shanna Coder's bedroom. That would be above in the living room above where our TV is, as well as the bathroom, which was by far the worst, as well as when you go up the stairs to go upstairs and you make a right, there's like a little like kind of corner. There was a big leak over there as well. And then in the kitchen, it was above the stove on the left and the right side of the stove, as well as by the counter of our sink above on the far left corner on the top above our cupboards on the ceiling, there also is a place that leaks that has black mold there as well.
Ms. Ashworth, can you look at Exhibit J?
And Ms. Ashworth, if you needed, to take a break, because I recognize that you are having some health conditions. So speaking could cause the coughing too. Just let us know if you need to take a break and get water, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Can you repeat what exhibit again, please?
Exhibit J. Can I have this marked as Exhibit J?
I just need a second to hit my inhaler real fast.
I know. Because I've got them marked all. Here's will be the next one. Your Honor, may I approach with Exhibit B?
You may.
No, we just discussed. Ms. Ashworth, are you looking at Exhibit J?
Yes,
Whenever
ma'am.
you get a
Sorry, I had to hit my inhaler. Yes, ma'am. I have it in front of me.
And do you recognize what this is?
Yes, ma'am. That is a picture of my bathroom.
And did you take this photograph?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know approximately when you took this photograph?
Let me see. So when I had sent it to you, I took a more recent picture. Hold on one second. I'm looking through my photos real fast. Where is it? Sorry, I'm finding a hard time finding it.
Well, if you're looking at Exhibit J, do you recall taking this photograph?
Yes, ma'am. I just know I have multiple of it, and I just wanted you to have a more recent photo.
Yeah. Would this have been the condition of your bathroom in November of 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
And is this a true and accurate reproduction of the photo you sent to me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to get this photograph into evidence as Exhibit J.
Any objections?
No.
Exhibit J submitted. And Ms. Ashworth, you said this is your bathroom, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And tell me about this photograph and the condition of your bathroom.
So when I had took this photo, it was by far like to the point where it was getting a lot worse. I took this after coming back into my home to care for my animals, and as well as grab some of me and my daughter's stuff, because the home was causing me a lot of health problems with my asthma as well as my daughter's. So I took this picture just so I had proof of what I was dealing with in the home and the reason why it was hard for me and my child to live in that home.
When
That was after a big storm that we had.
and what would happen during a big storm or any storm?
It would pour in there as it would outside.
Into the house, it would rain?
Yes, ma'am. It would be wet all over the floor. The floor was starting to come up. It also was a safety hazard because I already fell due to the porridge. I had put towels and stuff on the floor to prevent that when we weren't there. And it was so bad that the stuff I put down was not saving the floor, let alone stopping anybody from getting hurt by coming into my bathroom.
And you previously testified that there were also leaks in the bedrooms, in the living room, and play. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, and in the kitchen.
And in the kitchen. And would rain or water come through those spots in those areas?
Yes, ma'am. Especially the kitchen. The kitchen was the main one, and Miss Coder's bedroom as well. The living room wasn't really more of a problem up until I say probably like maybe a couple weeks after that picture I took of the bathroom is when the damage started coming more down onto the TV. And I noticed it by looking in front of my TV, grabbing my my papers and stuff that I had up there because it was where I put some of my important mail at. And I noticed that they were wet. And so I turned on the light and I noticed that everything was sopping wet on my TV stand.
Your Honor, may I approach with Exhibit J?
Yes. Okay. I'm not sure if I have this upside down or not. I must have this upside.
I think it's.
I need you, now that I have it, to help me understand again what I'm looking at. This is what room?
This is the bathroom.
This is the bathroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there more than one? This was the bathroom that you used every day?
Yes, ma'am.
And there's this hole is above the toilet? Is that where this is?
The toilet is a little bit on the left side of that. The bathroom is very small.
Okay, what is this that looks like a window that's sealed?
Yes, ma'am. It's like a little, it's been sealed since we moved in, but now it's currently open. It had like the gawk stuff in it.
When
So there was no air.
This hole was there when you moved in?
No, ma'am. Shortly after.
Okay. Shortly after that hole came in and you notified them of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can continue.
You notified in the November 2023 email that we discussed as Exhibit B. And did you email Garneau on other dates as well?
Yes, ma'am. In my other email, they had stated they weren't getting emails. And another person that I know that rents through Garneau had told me that maybe I should try to send it through another one. And that the person that they had doing emails got fired because of the problems that everybody was having getting in contact with them to have repairs done. So I had emailed them on my actual work email. And I had stated to them that I had tried to email them a couple times and that it was something that needed to be done because it was a health hazard. And that's why I instead, when they came out their contractor came out to work on the house before the inspection, that's why I disclosed with him what was going on, and he told me that he would let them know so he could make sure that it was on his work order.
Can you clarify when this was that you had that conversation with the contractor? Approximate.
Let me see. It had to have been like not even a week before the so-called reinspection was supposed to be, because he had called me to verify if I was going to be there, and I may still have
So
a
this
voicemail.
sorry, I want to clarify, are you talking about the inspection that just happened
No,
few days
ma'am.
ago?
It was this
Right.
this supposed to be the second reinspection, which is now why
Okay.
we had the third that they did not complete. Hold on one second. I think I might have an email. I mean, not email, a voicemail. Yes, so I have a voicemail November 15th from their contractor, which he was stating that there was work that needed to be done. And then that's when I ended up calling him back.
So I'm going to fast forward until pretty recently. When did repairs start to be done on your apartment or on your house?
Let me see. Because they had emailed, I remember we had discussed what days and times. Let me take a look real fast just so I know for sure. Sorry, just give me one second. So they said they'd be at my house noon on Thursday and 8:30 a.m. on Friday. And then they also did repairs that following week.
Ms. Ashworth, would that be February 15th, Thursday, February 15th?
Wednesday, Thursday, yes, ma'am, it would be February 15th. It's the first day that they started on repairs. But
Okay, so
they didn't start any that exact day.
Sure. So is it fair to say that the leaking in your bathroom and in other parts of your house have been in existence from at least November when you contacted them until the present?
The leaks were going on before that. Right before remember the domestic that happened between me and Miss Coder. That was in I think the end of July, and her bedroom was the main concern, and that had to have been in June, I believe, when the leaks first started.
And what work was done on your apartment starting around February 15th? What has been worked on and completed?
Nothing is completed besides them building the ledge thing for downstairs, the railing. The bathroom, they didn't complete all of that, but the hole's not in the wall anymore.
Can you tell me what they did? Ms. Ashworth, can you tell me what work they did in the bathroom?
All they did, instead of replacing the floor, they ended up sanding down part of my floor, and then they sprayed some type of mold cleaner into the wall with gas masks because they said the mold was so bad, and they treated it, they said, more than 3 times. And all they did was put a cover thing over it and paint over it, and they didn't replace the bottom that is cracked. So that is all they did in the bathroom. And then they opened up that little window that was underneath the hole in the wall, And that's all that they did in the bathroom.
Can you look at Exhibit K? And then it's 4 pages. Bringing it to the board for marking. Okay. Ms. Ashworth, do you recognize Exhibit K?
Yes, ma'am. These are the photos that I took after the so-called repairs.
So these have been taken within the last week, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And is this a true and accurate reproduction of the photographs that you took?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to move to have this admitted into evidence as Exhibit K.
Any objection to defendant's Exhibit K?
What's the date again? Would be the only thing that I asked.
She testified within the last week. Do you
I
can you be more
give you
specific? Thank you.
the exact date I took those was yesterday at 49 at night.
Thank you. And is this the state of your bathroom currently?
Yes, ma'am. And the little hallway part that I stated, when you go up the stairs, make it right.
No objection.
Okay, defendant K is admitted.
Okay. Your Honor, may I approach the
Yes, ma'am. Okay. This is where again in the house?
the bathroom?
This is the same bathroom from Jay?
Yes.
Okay.
Bathroom in the hallway, Your Honor.
Hallway. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pictures here. So I need to know what portions of the hallway and then what portions are the bathroom. I see on the last page of this Exhibit K, a toilet or a portion of the toilet. And there's like looks like a little small window, which is not the same window that I see in J. What does that little window go to?
That is the same window, Your Honor. That's what it looked like after they're supposed to be repaired.
Oh, okay. So the first picture, it looks like it was
the first two pictures
with
the
something. Okay. Okay, you can continue. And are these other pictures all hallway? Or I guess I should say pictures 1 and 2 of Exhibit K look like they're hallway. I think I see the base of the toilet on the 3rd picture. Is that accurate? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You can continue.
Ms. Ashworth, does that window in the bathroom close now?
No, ma'am. And there's a big hole in the screen. So any bugs or any animals can come into my window. I have no way to lock it.
Can you look at what I've marked as Exhibit L?
Yes, ma'am. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I have it up.
And Ms. Ashworth, what is Exhibit L?
Those are pictures that I took yesterday of Miss Coder's bedroom.
And is this a true and accurate reproduction of the photographs you took?
Yes.
I'd like to move these photographs to be admitted into evidence as Exhibit L.
Any objection to Exhibit L?
No.
Exhibit L is admitted.
And Ms. Ashworth, what is the condition? You said this is a photograph of Ms. Coderre's bedroom. Are you meaning the first floor bedroom?
Yes, ma'am.
And what does the condition show in these photographs? What are these pictures of?
It shows the damage to the ceiling as well as it shows part of the black mold that was on the ceiling and the tiles that contain full amounts of black mold are currently still left in the bedroom on the side of the door, which is why I have to keep it closed because due to my health, I can't dispose of that.
So this is the condition of one of the bedrooms and as you sit there right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, may I approach with Exhibit L?
You may. This again was Ms. Coderre's bedroom.
Yes.
Is that okay? And I'm looking at the ceiling.
Yes, ma'am.
So when we first started talking, we've covered the bathroom and one of the bedrooms. What is the current condition of the leaking spot in the hallway?
In the hall, that would be the last exhibit that we looked at. The first two pictures is what the hallway upstairs is currently looks like.
Can you describe it? Is there mold? Is it repaired? What does it look like to you?
To me, it just looks like they basically before they put that up, all it did was spray a treatment of mold and they put the cement thing up there and plastered it on the wall and did a partial paint job on it and didn't replace the flooring of like the edges of it. So to me, it just looks as if they just put up a piece of board and put paint over it and left it be.
Did they put any new insulation in your house?
No, ma'am. All that
remove
has been in my home has been just blocks of white. And that was it. They used my stuff to clean up their mess and it's still not cleaned up.
By blocks
Nothing
of white, are you
besides
by
like
blocks
the
of white?
whatever their
sheetrock?
I can actually I don't know what to call it. Hold on.
Are you talking about sheetrock or drywall?
I think it would be drywall. I'm not for sure, but they still have some outside right now. So basically, this is what they basically have added in my home. This is what it looks like. So I don't. It's some of it's thick and some of it's not. I don't know if
it's
sheetrock.
Okay.
Yeah, that has to be what it is. I'm just not for sure. I don't know about.
Just to clarify, no insulation, as far as you know, was removed or replaced in your home?
None was removed at all.
So they sprayed for mold with a spray, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. They sprayed and then they just put the stuff over and painted over it.
And one of the repairs that's been made in the last 2 weeks is a new roof, is that correct?
As they stated, but I did not see any roof people at my home.
Okay, but you've been told there was a new roof put on.
they stated that they completed it in one day, but to me, there's no way you can repair that whole roof when I have to come and check on my dogs.
And that was within the last 2 weeks, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they didn't want to do any repairs until they got the roof situated, because then it looked as if we were going to be having some storms, and if they just fixed everything, then all of it would just come back down because the roof wasn't repaired, is what I got told. Which is why they came that following week.
Yeah. Do you currently have hot water?
No, ma'am.
When was the last time you had hot water in your apartment? Approximately.
I would have to say sometime in August. It was when it completely went out.
Ms. Ashworth, while they've been doing repairs for the last 2 weeks or so, have you been able to stay consistently in the home?
I tried with me and my daughter, but due to all the black mold, we could not stay here because it was causing us problems with our breathing. And in the middle of the night, me and my daughter had woke up and we were both coughing a lot. I had asked the contractor nicely to keep the windows open and my fans on, due to our health and due to the problems with the house. And so the following day, I stated to them in a text message, can you please keep my windows and the fans on due to our health, because we cannot breathe in that home and I need to be able to spray and clean so then we do not have to smell it if we have to stay at our house.
And have you had to stay with relatives on some occasions?
Ever since the leaks, me and my daughter have been in and out of the house. We aren't really here. I come and I take care of my dogs, and some nights when me and Miss Coder's daughter would be with her, sometimes I would stay overnight with my dogs, or if my mom didn't have a problem with me staying at home, like a couple days out of the week, I would make sure that my dogs weren't alone at night. That way I didn't have to put them up in the cage or anything.
And Ms. Ashworth, without hot water, where have you and your daughter been bathing?
We've had to bathe at my aunt's house and also my mom's before she moved in with my aunt, which is in DeWitt. So we've been back and forth in and out of Lansing to have places to stay and bathe at.
And how old is your daughter?
She's 6.
And I know you've referenced this, but you and your daughter have breathing issues. Can you describe what those issues are for yourself and your daughter?
Yes, ma'am. I've been diagnosed with asthma since I was about, they diagnosed me before the age of 3, due to me getting pneumonia. With my asthma, I can't be around dust. It's really hard for me to breathe in like different conditions of houses as well as like weather. We have real bad seasonal allergies added with that. So with our asthma, if we come in contact with any type of thing, we can get really sick. My daughter had just got diagnosed with asthma. I say it's been over a year now since she's been diagnosed with it. Hers isn't as bad as mine, but she's just now starting to get a little bit more health issues with her asthma. to where she has to use an inhaler, like it's not the rescue inhaler, it's called something else, but she has to use it every day with the thing that she has to put around her mouth to make sure that she doesn't have any asthma attacks or anything.
Did you have to go to the hospital recently for your health conditions, and can you describe what that was?
Yes, ma'am. Since they were doing the repairs on the house, we had decided to come back home. So we felt like, things were going to be done, and that, they, treated the black mold, did what they needed to. So I thought that it would be safe for us. So we ended up staying the night, and that's when I knew that they didn't have the bedroom completed or the bathroom. So I did alternative where I could, we could still stay here and not have to breathe that stuff in. So we stayed downstairs on the couch, and because there's a lot more windows and airflow through here. And when we had woke up, due to them turning off the fans and shutting our windows, we woke up in the middle of the night, and it was really hard for me to breathe. And I woke my daughter up from coughing so bad, and I had almost passed out because of how bad everything that I was intaking was in my lungs. And then my daughter, shortly after, was having a little bit of problem with her breathing as well. She was coughing a little bit more frequent. And that's when I knew that we needed to leave and we needed to go back to my aunt's house. And so that right after that, shortly after is when we had ended up going into the hospital.
Ms. Ashworth, when the inspector came by this week from the city, did he go into the bathroom or bedroom that we've had pictures of here today?
No, ma'am. When the inspector had showed up a couple minutes earlier than he was supposed to be here, and so I was just making sure everything was in order. I was cleaning up some of the guys' mess that was outside. That way, they didn't get docked on that for having some of the, trash and stuff outside. And then I cleaned up my cardboard and stuff that I personally had out from cleaning out my home. And then he waited for their rep to pull up. And when he did, they walked up and I was still outside, and I told them, just give me a second. Let me make sure my dogs are good and I'll put them in the cage real fast. And then that way I could sit down and be out of the way since I'm still contagious. So I opened the door, walked away, and said, "You're good to come in now." And the rep was like, "Would you like to start in the basement first?" And then that's when the inspector said, "Yes, we can start there." They went downstairs. They were not even down there, not even 3 minutes, not even 2 minutes, honestly. And they came back upstairs, and they went straight out of the front door. And so I sat here and I'm like, maybe he's looking outside at the outside stuff, and then he's gonna come in and look at the rest of the house. Cause the first time he ever inspected the house, he did the same thing. Well, I look out of the window and I see both of them standing out at the inspector's truck, which is when I took a picture and I had sent it to you. And I told you, I stated that the inspector was not at my home more than 3 minutes and that they were outside talking. And I took another picture. They were out there talking for about 20 minutes, and then they both pulled off from my home. So all he went into was the basement. He did not take a look at anything else in the house nor outside.
I have no other questions at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. So I make sure your client is still there.
I gotta go now.
Ms. Ashworth, are you there? Okay, cross-examination.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Ashworth,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I believe you testified that the leak started in June of 2023.
Can you rephrase that again?
I believe you already testified that the leak started in June of 2023.
The what? I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Ms. Ashworth, I believe that, is it correct that you already testified that the leak started in June of 2023?
Tested in June. Yes, sir. What, in June? April, May, June. Yes, sir.
Ms.
To my
Ashworth,
knowledge, it would have been June.
Ms. Ashworth, I'm assuming that do you have a copy of the code enforcement corrections
No, sir.
letter that is, I don't know what exhibit it was marked as.
Exhibit Q. I have that.
Okay, hold on one second. Yeah, I don't. I don't have a queue.
I can get one over to you by email.
And the reason why I asked you that question, Ms. Ashworth, is because there are no leaks on an inspection letter that's been entered as an exhibit Q from the inspector, and that inspection date is July 31st.
Them leaks have been there, and before the inspection, your guys's reps had came into the home to do work on the house. So whatever was not shown when the inspector came that following day is exactly why nothing was shown when the inspection was.
Ms. Ashworth, do you have a copy of your lease there handy?
No, I do not. No.
Because I wanted to ask you about paragraph 15, section 8H is in hotel. That's going to be exhibit 1, plaintiff's exhibit number 1. There's been also the last sentence of that paragraph was already written out loud, and I'll read it again under the end of testimony, which is all maintenance requests must be submitted in writing by email to garnorealestate@aol.com. The reason why I wanted to refer to that is because exhibit B, your exhibit shows a message, and that is not the email that that message was sent to. Did you know that?
I'm trying to go to the exhibit. Give me 1 second.
That would be exhibit B.
I'm looking at exhibit B. I'm waiting for it to load. Now, what are you stating as exhibit B? What was not mentioned?
I said, are you aware that exhibit B is obviously an exhibit that's been admitted that shows you sent a message to email, and that email is at garnoprofoffice@aol.com. And my question was, in your lease that you signed, exhibit 15H, it says the correct email to use is garnorealestate@aol.com.
Yes,
so I
sir.
asked why you sent it to the wrong email when your lease says all maintenance requests.
So I did not send nothing to the wrong email. I stated already during court why I sent the email, which has nothing to do with me emailing that email, because this is a response to me and what is her name? Julia and the fact that I did not miss the inspection. That is why I stated that I sent this email and added that into the email, because you guys were stating that you guys did not receive any of my emails. And which is why I stated in there that I had to speak to your guys' contractors. And he said that he would let you guys know the message because you guys were not receiving them, and he would make sure that it was in his work order to complete because there was a following inspection coming and he was not sure when the inspection would be. That they just know they have to work on these things and they will start with the outside, and that is exactly what he stated. And then he called me giving me more times and never showed up. That is why that email is with the ledger and not Garno at AOL. And that was stated already in court.
Ms. Ashworth, when was the last time you made any payment at all to the landlord?
I don't know, you guys have our ledger messed up and my payments were not in there correctly and you guys had to find them. So let me take a look at the last ledger I have to see exactly when my last payment was. Give me 1 second. So 11/22 of 23, you guys stated in an email, I have found the payment and sent to Mr. Garno to verify the correct error. The $490 will not correct any late fees because you never sent the prorated amount in the second month you were there. So that $490 payment was lost of mine, which I told them if they could not find my payment, I would have to then go forth with the police because you guys have Shanna Coder's name on most of the payments besides the one payment I made on my card. So whenever that $490 payment, what actually was my last payment, which was after my payment through my card, which should stay on the ledger, Cherie L. Ashworth.
So Ms. Ashworth, on that entry on the ledger that you're talking about, it says 490. If you look on the reference column, it says found. I guess they couldn't locate it. It says found, received 8/20, 8/22. So my initial question of when is the last payment you made, would that be August the 22nd?
My last payment was in August then, correct?
Understood. Since then, have you placed any amount of rent into escrow?
No, I have not.
Have you ever notified your landlord of your intent to put your rent into escrow if repairs were not made? Or
I stated that to Julia, and
so you
Julia did not let me
that?
know. Yes, I stated to Julia, and Julia did not let me know what Mr. Garner wanted to do. I asked her what she said. What would you like to do? Ms. Garner wants to know your intentions, and I stated, well, what is his intentions? Because now you guys are already taking me to court. I need to know what we can do to settle this instead of going to court. And I have not heard nothing since. So that is exactly the last time that I spoke about us figuring things out, and I had no response to that. And that's when, after that, you guys were supposed to send an updated ledger, but you guys said due to the money owed, you guys would not disclose my ledger. And so we did not discuss moving forward at all. And so here we are now.
So again, is your answer no? You have not placed your money into escrow? Any rent money into escrow?
No, I don't. I've never done the escrow. Last time I tried to do escrow, they told me that I couldn't do it that way. So I was told I would just have to show proof of me holding money. And that was all. And that was in my last house on May Street. So no, I have not put money in escrow or any of that because we were supposed to discuss what we were going to do to move forward. And nobody got back with me on that. And I personally told her I would come to the office so we could figure it out. And nobody reached back out about it. So the answer is no.
Ashworth, to your knowledge, how many times has How many times has a city inspector been at your property?
2 times, but according to you guys, it has been 3 times when my dogs were left out.
So you were told it was 3 times, but you only saw an inspector there twice?
Yes, sir. And I told them in an email that if I would have been home or knew about the inspection, I would have gladly let him in, because then the house would have been red tagged and I would have been free of this home. And that's what I stated in the email to them.
And that leads me to my next question. Was there any tags placed, pink tag or red tag, or any tags on the
I don't
premises
know
to your home?
nothing about any tags, but they can't tag nothing when they can't come into the home.
Actually, that's not true, but I'm not going to testify.
I'm sorry?
Sorry.
Yeah, you know better.
Ms. Ashworth, paragraph 16 of your lease, plaintiff's exhibit 1, section 16, deals with pets. I see that you've signed off on that paragraph. It says you're allowed to have 2 dogs. How many dogs do you have?
I have 2 dogs. And
how many dogs are on the premises?
I have 2 dogs in my home right now. My mom's dog is gone.
How many dogs were on the premises on?
How many dogs were on the premises?
On February 5th.
Let him ask the question. What, ma'am, you have to let him ask the question before you can respond.
On February the 16th, how many dogs were on the premises?
3 animals, which states my dogs, as well as Shannon Coder's cat. And you guys did not see them on the dogs in my home because my dog's cage is covered because I have an American bully. And I told you guys that she is not very friendly when it comes to people being in the home and being locked up.
So your testimony is on February the 16th, there are only 2 dogs on the premises?
And I said a cat, correct?
I'm going to ask you one more time because I might have a photo.
Asked and answered.
Understood.
As I stated, in my home.
Whoa. Ma'am, you don't go back and forth. I told him it was asked and answered. That means you don't have to answer it anymore. If you hear me talk, you stop, because I'm not going to go back and forth either. Any other questions?
None. Thank you.
Do you have any questions for this witness?
On August 17th, did you tell my mom, Robin Wilson, that you would have me removed from the lease if I paid 8/11's rent?
I told your mother that when I got back on my feet from losing my job after the domestic happened, that once I got back on my feet, I would agree to allow you to get off of the lease. And then I stated after the fact that when you got offered $1,000 to move out of the house, you did not take it and you left me with all the bills. So I was not agreeing to get you off the lease because we went into this house together.
Hey, let me, before you ask a follow-up question, because I got to get clarity on this question. Okay, so you received communication from her mother on August 11th or with August 17th?
Yeah, 17th, sorry.
I did not call the date.
Okay, was that via text message?
Yes, text message with her mother.
Okay, and you're saying that you text her back and said when you get on your feet, that you would allow her to be removed from the lease?
I spoke to Shannon Coder when we were not supposed to be in contact or around each other. I told her that, and I told her mother as well on the phone, the same thing that I'm telling you right now, Your Honor, yes.
Okay. and the request from Shannon Cordair and her mother was for you to remove her from the lease prior to you getting on your feet?
Yes, that was what was stated first, because she told you that she did not want to pay on there because she couldn't be in the home due to the no contact order.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Do I need to submit that, or you already had it from last time?
You did submit a copy. Did you share a copy with the, I think we gave you a copy last time of the text message she presented last time.
I was on Zoom last time.
I believe we emailed you a copy. And because I sent you in a private meeting room to talk about the text message.
Understood.
Okay, so I'm going to get test copy. I'm going to mark that as defense exhibit. Or I have to separate the defense. It's going to be A1. Okay, since you're a different defendant. Okay.
Your Honor, can I get a second to take a breather?
Yes, please.
All right, thank you.
I'm going to mute you in the meantime.
Is it possible for me to obtain a copy of that?
She has a copy right there. She can show you. We have a copy in the file. Thank you. And I think we can make you a copy and Mr. Brown a copy if you want.
Thank you.
You take a copy of hers and make a copy of yours. And Ms. Ashworth, whenever you're ready, you can just unmute and let us know.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, thank you. Did you have any other questions?
That was all for her.
Just for her?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if I have another question for this one. You testified in the beginning that you all are going to be charged a cleaning fee for moving in. What kind of cleaning did you have to do to move in?
Hold on, baby, 1 second, okay? Basically the cleaning that we had to do was we had to go through the whole house, and we had to dust, we had to wipe down walls, we had to clean the floors, the counters, everything in the home is what we had to take care of.
Okay, so are you saying that did it appear that the property had not been cleaned when it was left? The last person moved out is what I'm asking? Okay, and so you are gonna be charged to clean after the last person moved out?
They stated that nobody's been in the home for about 3 years, is what they stated to us. And she stated that it would be a certain amount to clean, and that was all that they had let us know. So we told them, since we had already paid a big amount, that we would just do the cleaning ourselves before we moved in.
Okay, and so your recollection is it was just dust and cleaning floors, or were there indications that the property was not clean from the last person?
They didn't disclose that. They told me no one's been here in 3 years, so it was really dirty.
No, I'm asking you about what you saw, because you can tell if something's been cleaned or not, or if it's just been sitting and getting dusty.
Yeah, the house was, you could tell that the house was not cleaned in years. It was way more than just dust. The floors were dirty. There was dust all over. There was it was infested with spiders, ants. It was a lot of bugs in the home, a lot of webs. So basically everything in the house was dirty.
Okay, you didn't have to remove any trash or anything, did you?
I cannot recall.
Okay. Okay, any questions based on my question? I think that was.
I have two.
Yes.
Ms. Ashworth, are you aware of section 5 of your lease agreement, which
I don't
says
have
upon, I'll read it, it's very short. Upon execution of this lease, tenant agrees to pay without demand to landlord a non-refundable one-time fee of $0 to compensate for cleaning. And then it goes on to say tenant is cleaning.
It was stated that she wrote that in there because we decided to clean.
Ms. Ashworth, that's actually typed in there. It's typed in the paragraph. It's paragraph number 5.
I'm telling you what me
Are you
and
aware of
Julia
that?
and Shanna Coder discussed in your guys' office on Michigan, that if we did not want to clean, you guys would charge us a cleaning fee, which
No,
was
that's what the
told to
lease
you.
says. The tenant's gonna clean, so they would charge $0 for that.
Understood.
Exactly.
And Ms. Ashworth, were you aware that on February the 20th, a city inspector came out and you were hit with a violation of trash, debris, deteriorated furniture, miscellaneous items, garbage, indoor type of furniture and outdoors, deteriorated furniture on that day? I'm sorry, the compliance date was February 20th. Were you aware that that occurred
Objection.
on February 13th?
There's an objection, don't answer. What's your objection?
I don't believe this is referencing anything that's in the record right now. Is
Understood. Thank you.
I know that you never entered that into the record.
Thank you.
Okay. Any redirect of your witness?
no, thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, thank you. Did you have any other witnesses?
I would like to call Ms. Coder for a few questions.
Raise your right hand, or your other right hand, and actually, I'm gonna have you come up here. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can have a seat. Okay, you can proceed, counsel.
Coder, I only have a few questions, and was Ms. Ashworth's testimony here today about the cleaning when you moved in and the conditions accurate?
As far as I know, I have not been in the home in months.
When you first moved in?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Okay.
They're accurate.
And did you see any leaks in this house?
Not until, I want to say, my room started leaking a couple weeks before the domestic, so somewhere in July.
Okay. And did you ever yourself contact Garner Property
No, my
Management?
camera was broke my phone, and I asked Miss Ashworth to submit photos, and for my knowledge, I thought she did, and then I wasn't in the home after.
Okay, and is the reason you moved out of the home because there was a temporary order of protection around mid-July?
Yep, correct.
And is it true you still have belongings in the house?
Yes, they gave me one time to move my stuff out after the domestic and I'm disabled, so I can't move my big stuff. And every time I try to get my stuff since then, she threatens to call cops, and I don't think it's worth it.
Is there order of protection currently
Not
in
currently, no.
place? And as I read the exhibit you put into evidence, D1A, it sounds like if you were to be removed from the lease, you would both need to sign paperwork, and Ms. Ashworth would have to turn in check stubs to see if she was still eligible for the apartment.
Correct.
That's your understanding? Correct. Okay. No other questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. And I have a question following up on that. Did you request that you be removed from the lease?
I have.
Okay. And what response did you get? Did you request directly or did you have someone else request?
I have paperwork where I contacted Garno on 8/14. And they didn't answer the phone, it went straight to voicemail, so I emailed her and told her that I needed her to contact me. She contacted me within 30 minutes. And I told her that there was no contact order in place and that I needed to be removed from the lease, or she needed to be removed from the lease. One of us needed to be removed.
Okay.
And she then told me
Who's she?
Julia.
Okay.
She then stated that Miss Ashworth would have to resubmit her pay stubs and all that to be qualified to take over the lease.
Okay,
But that I couldn't be removed without Ms. Ashworth's signature, basically, her filling the paper.
okay,
And then also the text message was to read through my mother where we were asked to ask. her.
okay. Cross-examination.
Thank you. Ms. Kadir, did you sign the lease agreement?
I did.
Are you aware that the term does not end until May 31st, 2024?
Okay.
When is the last payment that you made?
9 September something. Sorry, I left my paperwork over there.
September 2023.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Can I approach?
You may.
Show her at least our accounting record. Would that be like $450?
Yeah, half the rent.
So let me go back. September.
Looks like 9/11/2023.
Okay, the 450 that was from Shanna Kadir.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And did you make a deposit? I'm sorry, a payment also? On August 11th?
August 22nd, I believe it was. Which is noted in the 11-4 for that 822.
Is that the one that you said that was 890?
490.
I'm sorry, 490,
I
that
have
was
the-
your, so you made that payment?
Yes, Your Honor, I have the receipt in my car for that.
Okay, so you made the payment on 490. Let's see.
And they did, the accounting wasn't very accurate in that time because Ms. Ashworth also stated in those text messages that she didn't pay her rent late, that it got took out of her mailbox late, and that receipt stated 8/11. So that
Okay.
450 for 8/11 was actually Ms. Ashworth and
Okay, 450 from 811 is Miss Ashworth.
yes.
Thank you.
Very well.
Nothing else wrong.
Okay. Okay, there was, it looks like a payment July 1st, but that looks like that was the rent in full,
Yes.
$900.
Yep, I paid that one.
June 1st, $900. I see that, okay. So August, let's see, 11th, the 450 was paid by Miss Ashworth, you say, and then the, it says on here, there's a 450 payment from, it says September 1st, but then I see in the description, August 1st. That was Miss Ashworth as well.
I believe.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And then as to, and then the 9/11, 450 and the the found check for 490 was for you, from you, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that clarifies that for me. Any questions based on that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I don't think I have any more questions from this witness. You can step down, thank you. But actually, while you're under oath, if you have anything else you want to share, you can do that. You can do that from there.
I just also have the emails from Julio and Garno. Because last time we were here, Mr. Chris Brown stated that he wasn't aware that I was not living in the home other than per Ms. Hall. But I have an email stating like on 11/15 where they were previously aware of me not living in the home.
Okay.
And then I also have the emails from August 14th, where I contacted Julia to inform her that I was not in the home.
Okay. That's the only other evidence you have?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, did you want to show?
I have no objection.
Okay, there's no objection, so
Yeah, no objection.
you can admit those. We'll make those eight, I'm sorry. I do, first one, A1, this will be B1. Okay, and you're not calling any other witnesses?
No,
Is that
Your Honor.
correct? Okay, are you calling any additional witnesses? Mr. Brown?
I do not, Your Honor.
Okay, so it looks like everybody's resting. You can make your argument.
I'm sorry. Your Honor, you heard testimony at length from all the parties. It's our position, if there's unpaid rent and charges pursuant to the lease agreement in the testified amount. And we'd be requesting a possession judgment here for that amount, and also a prorated amount of rent, which is just simply taking off 1 day of rent for today's date for a money judgment as well. In this matter, it's our position that a city inspector from the city of Lansing went out to the property 2 or 3 times. We've heard both testimonies, but at each and all of those times, it is not disputed that there's no tag of any kind on the property, not pink, not red. I'm unaware of any other color. And so I'd ask for a judgment of possession and money for the amounts prayed for. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, our position, as in our affirmative defenses, is that the plaintiff failed to keep this unit in anywhere close to reasonable repair, and it was unfit for habitation. The code enforcement officers report true, no pink tag, no red tag, but there was no rental certificate for the entire course of this lease. It was not a legal rental. The code I won't repeat to you what is in the code enforcers report, but there are a number of issues identified with eavesdrops, gutters, and the structure. You've heard testimony and seen evidence presented by Ms. Ashworth that there's no hot water in any faucet. The bathroom ceiling and wall were open to the studs and leaking when raining. The living room ceiling was leaking, kitchen ceiling leaking, door to the basement. Sorry, I didn't get to that. But the kitchen ceiling was leaking above the stove. We have a counterclaim in here because Ms. Ashworth has been on many occasions unable to stay in this home because of the state of disrepair. We are asking for $200 a day in damages, at least going back to when she notified Garno by email, November 22nd of 2023. If not before then, she did testify she had no hot water at dates prior to that, but she certainly doesn't have hot water now, and her house is still not habitable. And I would say that is constructive eviction. And yeah, we would ask for a judgment in that amount against Garno properties, or against the plaintiff in this case.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you have a statement?
Your Honor, in my closing, I would just like to be removed from the lease. I have not been in there since July of 18 of 23. I haven't been there. I can't report damages that I'm not aware of or physically see, or I can't do anything when I'm not at home.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we had testimony today from both the tenants and one office assistant that discussed a rental agreement between Ms. Codere and Ms. Ashworth and Garno Properties. And they moved into this unit somewhere around about the end of May of 2023. Testimony from Ms. Codere, I'm sorry, Ms. Ashworth, and I apologize because I'm probably gonna mix this up multiple times. Ms. Ashworth did testify that shortly after moving in, there were some leaks and some other issues. I think she contacted management about, she said, issues of heat and no hot water. That was in May. She presented an exhibit, I believe, Defendant's Exhibit A, from May 26, 2023, shortly after they moved in, referencing no heat, no hot water. So I think it's ironic that we're here today in February 2023. She still doesn't have any hot water, but we'll address that in just a moment. There's been exhibits that were submitted by the tenant, Ms. Ashworth, defendants B, about her responding to a ledger about some discrepancies in payments being late and conditions of the property and things that have not been issued. And she testified about some of the conditions, including a leaky house and having it pour rain into her home, and that there was a black mold throughout the home in various areas, even including, she stated, leaks in Ms. Coder's room, and black mold in those areas, and leaks that she believed caused or presented a safety risk for her as it relates to being right above her stove. I didn't get to ask her whether or not she had a gas or electric stove. I don't know that that's even germane to the ultimate issue that no one should have to live in a property that they're renting and where they're dealing with leaks as they're describing in their home when it rains. She presented exhibits, which I'm going to be as frank as I can be. This blew my mind. Exhibit J, there's a giant hole in this didn't happen. This hole didn't happen in a short period of time. This is indicative of a leak that had been going on for quite some time. Maybe it was patched before, I don't know, but there's no way I would believe that this happened within a week, a month, 2 months. I believe that there had been issues that should have been addressed prior to them moving in, and it was not addressed. I see that there had been an attempt to try to caulk or close this little window, which gives access to the outside, but there's a hole right in the roof, which means they're exposed to not only black mold, which is evident in this picture, but rain and anything else, whether it be an animal, a bug, or anything else that could get through here whenever they go to use the restroom. We have the Exhibit K from the defendant, which demonstrates some other conditions in that area. I think this was supposed to be the hallway, and then also in the bathroom where it's been grossly deteriorated. It's not been kept. It doesn't even look like it's been properly painted. I do see where in Exhibit K that there was somewhat of an attempt, I believe, to have the I guess that window from the previous Exhibit J fixed. I don't see the caulking, but I also don't see that the window can be closed shut anymore. Not only does it appear that the caulking helped keep the window closed shut, but now in Exhibit K, there's not even the latch to attach it. There's no way to close it. And then the covers for the outlets are exposed. And this is in an area right above where I see a giant hole. They came and took the cover to the outlet out, further exposing their tenants to safety hazard. She testified to being concerned about bugs and other animals getting in. I see more than overwhelming evidence that that's possible, because we've got all these pictures of the entire ceiling missing in wood that appears to be rotted. And it also is clear evidence of black mold here. I recognize that there has been an inspection. I also have to discredit your witness, because your witness got up here and testified after you led her that there was always, or that the certificate was always issued, but that's not what this Exhibit Q says. The Exhibit Q states that there was an inspection, and they did do a re-inspection or attempt to do a re-inspection back in November 16, 2023. And it says no certificate was issued. I do see a copy of the code enforcement rental inspection correction notice that was printed on July 31st, 2023. I have no idea why anybody from the city of Lansing didn't pink, red, yellow, purple, green, orange tag this property. This property is disgusting. I have severe concerns about not just the integrity, but the moral compass of anyone who collects rent from tenants for a property that looks like this. I have concerns about the people that work for the people that are collecting rent in a place that looks like this. And then will stand in court with a straight face and tell me that they owe them some money. No, actually, they had no business paying in the first place. This was not a rentable property. There is no person under the sun that should live in this property. Mr. Brown, you wouldn't live in a property like this. Ma'am, you wouldn't live in a property like this. This is despicable, it's irresponsible, it's predatory, and it's dangerous. And so I believe they were constructively evicted from the time they entered into this property. I'm a little blown away by the fact that they need to pay to get the property cleaned before they move in, but they didn't give any testimony or evidence to support that there was any unreasonable cleaning that needed to be done. So I'm not going to really address that. As it relates to charges on these, I'm going to order, hey, you're getting the relief that you sought because this is disgusting. They've been constructively evicted from this. You're going to return their security deposit and all the rent that was ever paid to them, because you had no business renting it. I don't have anything that shows me that you came in here and fixed the issues. They brought that evidence here. Your responsibility was to bring me evidence that, no, we came and fixed that, and we fixed it immediately. I have nothing. So the relief they're seeking is granted. You're getting out of your lease. You don't owe them any money. In fact, they owe you money because you paid them rent when they had constructively evicted you from a house. You could not, this was your bedroom. You weren't there to see it. And even if I had believed that they had fixed the property, I had issues with the fact that she requested to be removed from the lease. And she had a reasonable grounds to request that, because there's a domestic and she can't go to this house. They can't live together. And that was outside of her control now, because the person she has a domestic with decided that she was not going to grant her that, and she withheld that from her until she got on her feet. This is an unfortunate situation when roommates or friends come together and then something happens that causes them to have to break down. The law provided an opportunity and a mechanism, ma'am, for you, Ms. Ashworth, to seek to get out of your lease if you were involved in a domestic. And so you could have gotten out of your lease early, and you didn't have to hold that over her head. But we're not going to really get into that. That's just a nugget for you to take for you for future, because you're both getting out of your lease. And I need to know how long it's going to take for you to get your stuff out of the property and for you to get your stuff out of the property. This is a severe health hazard. This lady is coughing up a lung throughout the entire court proceeding. I don't understand why you didn't go in the back and try to negotiate something. You should never want the public to see this. This is disgusting. That's the order of the court. How much time do you need to get out of the property? Get your things out of the property.
I can do it within a week. I just don't want to go to jail by going there.
You will not go to jail, because it's going to be a court order for you to have your things removed within 14 days. And I'm going to make sure that Ms. Ashworth is not in the property during that time for you to get that. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that, Ms. Ashworth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you got to make arrangements, because she's going to give me a date that she's going to, or dates that she's going to go and get her stuff. You cannot be there, because we don't want there to be any further legal criminal action as a result of her trying to get her stuff out of here. Okay.
Can I tell you something, Your Honor? I'm sorry. I don't have a problem. I said, can I tell you something? I don't have a problem with being out of home, but I just want to address the fact that Shannon Coder, with what she's saying, she has been at this house. We have our daughter who is here. She has been in this house multiple times, but I
don't really care that she's been at the house a couple of times, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now I'm trying to get you both out of it. First of all, you shouldn't want to live here, because black mold will kill you.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's a severe health hazard. So you don't want to live there. You want to get your stuff out. How much time is it going to take for you to vacate their house?
I have to figure out where we can go. I would need at least maybe 2 weeks to get fully out.
Okay,
we had initially, Ms. Ashworth, we had initially discussed about a month for you to be able, with the health. I just encourage you to have a reasonable date.
Okay, I'll give you 30 days to get your property out of that unit and turn over your keys. You're going to get your stuff out in 2 weeks, and you're going to turn over your keys. What dates are you going to go get your stuff?
Next Tuesday, Wednesday, is that the 4th and 5th?
Okay, so Ms. Cordeira is going to go to the property next Tuesday and next Wednesday to get all of her things. After next week, Wednesday, you're not to be at that property then, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so you're going to get
Can I get a time that she would be here? Because I also have my animals here, and they have to.
She doesn't have to give you a time. She's gonna come get her stuff. You're gonna make accommodations for her to come in anytime that's convenient to her on those days.
I just mean, cause if I don't want my animals to use the bathroom in their cage, you know, they have to get fed and stuff. That's the only reason why I asked. If I could-
Then you talk to your attorney, maybe you need to take your dogs with you when you leave. I don't know, but she just shouldn't have to deal with your dogs or work around your dog schedule to get her stuff out. And when she's been trying to get her stuff out, according to these emails since August.
Ms. Ashworth, contact me and
I
we can
gave
make
her
sure
her
there's
items.
access. Okay, just contact me afterwards and we can make arrangements, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. I need an order presented. Can you present an order for the court? I'm granting return of their deposit and rents that were paid, because I believe that they were constructively evicted at the time that they entered into this lease agreement, because I don't think it was in a condition that should have been rented. They did not have a valid rental agreement, or a rental certificate, I should say, issued. And my calculations of the rents that they paid plus security deposit, I believe, was $1,664.19 in rents paid. Is that accurate?
I'd have to go through the payment column. I believe the payment column also includes the security deposit as well.
It's 5,240.
Did you calculate the
Sorry,
prorated 174.19?
I did not.
And then I see a 250 for a dog fee, and then the security deposit. I did not put that security deposit in that 5,664. So that
Your
was
Honor,
a separate-
I've also got the same exact total. I'm only looking at all the payments made, not the
That's what I'm-
charges.
I'm looking at the payments. I have 490. And then I have 450 that was, it says date 9/11. I see 450 from 9/1. I see 450 from 8/11. I see 900 from July 1st. 500 from 26. 650 from May 26. I see 850 from May 26. And then 500. So that might be the security deposit, I'm assuming. I don't know.
We broke it down. They let us put down 500.
Okay, so that amount would include the security deposit, and then there should be, it says charge paid 174.19. When was that?
That's
Paid?
for the prorated.
Yeah, other than where that says paid, I don't see that in the payments column.
That part, they never received the receipts. The money order. So that 174 wasn't actually received by them.
Okay, so then you got 5,240, is that the accurate amount? Okay, so judgment for 5,240. I further need to break this down, because how much of that deposit did you pay?
All in there.
No, how much of the security, so Shayna Cordera, if it says 500, you paid that?
There was all but 500. Her mom paid 500 on us moving.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, of the 1,350, did you pay it down the middle? You split it down the middle?
No, ma'am.
You did separate payments.
Did you pay half of the 1,350, or did you pay more than half?
I paid more than half. She paid 500 of the deposit.
You paid 1,100 to move in there.
We paid more than 1,100.
Mom had paid 500 on it.
What receipts do you have?
I don't know if I have.
Okay,
have them.
well, I'm gonna first into the order or for judgment, have that entered, and then we can have another hearing about what goes to who. Because I don't know what you paid and I don't know what you paid, and I'm sure it's not gonna align in this hearing. And it's already 5:20, so you can get your receipts, bank statements, whatever you gotta do. And then I'll get you a new date, you'll come in with those receipts and we'll decide then, unless you all come to agreement before then. And you can talk to her attorney about that, okay, Ms. Cloutier? If you come to agreement, then I'll enter an order as such, what goes to which. But you're both gonna be out of your apartments in the lease. And you're gonna have all your things out by next week, Wednesday. And she's gonna have all of her things out within 30 days, and you're both gonna turn over your keys and move on with your life, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any
Thank
questions
you.
from the court?
No, ma'am.
Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing, thank you, Your Honor.
And Ms. Hull, you're gonna give us the order within
Yes.
7 days,
I will
7-day
send
rule,
that.
thank you. Hope you feel better, ma'am.
Your Honor,
Thank you, Your Honor.
do you guys send out paperwork for this?
We're gonna,
All my
or
paperwork
it depends,
going
is
back
J-
to 10:15.
is JIS not working?
If you,
Give us your address, please.
528 Lake Street, LAKE.
Okay, the court,
3027.
okay, the court staff will make sure your notice goes to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And then we'll get a notice sent to the address for Miss Cherie, and then that'll, unless, and you should make sure you exchange information with counsel so that you all can try to discuss the equitable way to disperse that funding so that we don't have to have another hearing, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Am I free to log off, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.